Hey friends, it's Matt with BoLS, and today we are taking a look at a prototype version of Lords of Vaala Dragonbond by Draco Studios, so keep in mind as we explore components they may differ from the final product. Lords of Vaala is a competitive, asymmetric, strategic combat game with area control and action planning mechanics, and, may I say, some of the coolest minis I've seen in a very long time. The objective of all players is to be the first to gather 10 power tokens, which are collected by controlling different regions of the map, or in the case of the dragons, by killing those dumb old humans. That's right, in Lords of Vaala you can play as these huge dragon minis, which is fantastic. During setup, each player selects which faction to play as, either one of the two human generals or one of the two dragons. Humans and dragons each have different mechanics on how they engage with combat and maneuver around the map. And each of the two human generals and each of the two dragons both also have different sets of action cards and spell cards to differentiate them even further in terms of playstyle and strategy. So right off the bat, there are a lot of different ways to play Lords of Vaala. The game itself is broken down into rounds, each of which is made up of 3 phases: planning, resolution, and cleanup. At the beginning of the planning phase, an event card is played face down. These event cards will either place more power tokens around the board, which is, again, how players win, or they will allow players to all take a certain action, things like that. Then, each player has a unique set of action cards that they will use to plan out their entire round. These action cards have icons set in the corner to dictate what actions that player will perform when that card is resolved. Each icon is also explained on the player board, so there's no need to have to remember them all. The first player places their action card face down on top of the event card. Then, all players each play their action card face down, building the action stack. This continues until all players either run out of cards, or all players have chosen to pass. Another event card is placed on top, and this ends the planning phase. Then the resolution phase begins. The resolution phase is where action cards are resolved. The first player flips the stack over, so that the first event card played is the first to be resolved, then discarded. Play continues with each action card being resolved one at a time as they are revealed. So I hope you planned your turn out well and that no other players get in the way. Each card's action icons are resolved from top to bottom, and each icon represents a different action. Things like move, attack, rest, or for the human generals, deploy additional units. But there are also other actions like harvest and hoard, which allow players to collect the power tokens which are scattered around the board. Or the fortify action, which allow human generals to build fortresses to bolster their defenses. But then there are extra fancy actions. The upgrade action allows collecting an upgrade card from those available. Each upgrade card enhances one type of unit for the human generals: infantry, cavalry, and ranged. Each upgrade card provides a unique bonus to that unit type, and really helps the player focus a specific strategy on how they want their army to operate. And then the final action is Vaala. This action allows any player to draw a Vaala card from their unique deck of Vaala cards and add it to their hand. These Vaala cards are powerful one-time use spells that skip the planning phase entirely and can be played at any time they take the Vaala action by exhausting some of their gathered power. A carefully played Vaala card can easily turn the tide of a battle against an unprepared enemy. So it's always important to have backup plans for your backup plans. During all those actions, combat is sure to take place once or twice. The player who is resolving the attack action chooses a region that contains both their units and either enemy or neutral units. Then they roll a number of combat dice equal to their combat value. Their combat value is a combination of how many of their units are in the region, plus any bonuses from upgrades or having a balanced force of units or other abilities. Or in the case of dragons, just simply how healthy the dragon is. Certain terrain features can also affect combat. The defending force can either choose to engage with the combat or retreat. If they engage, they roll their own combat dice, and both sides go back and forth dealing damage to each other until one side is wiped out or retreats. And that's combat. But one final important thing to note during the resolution phase is the idea of dragon bonding. After any action card is resolved, if a dragon and general are in the same region, that general can attempt to forge a Dragonbond. A Dragonbond forces an alliance between the general and the dragon. The general rolls a combat die. Then, the dragon or the general can both spend power tokens to re-roll the die as many times as they want. If the die ends on a hit, the general and the dragon are now dragon bonded. This means they are now locked in an alliance, and will win or lose together, and also gain special bonuses for being bonded. As a dragon bonded team, all of their units are considered friendly with each other, and they need 15 power between them in order to win, as opposed to the typical 10. And now we move on to the cleanup phase of the round. If the event deck is empty, the game ends and whichever player has the most power wins. Otherwise, all players collect up their action cards, as well as any region cards for all regions they control, which function similarly to action cards. New upgrade cards are then dealt out and the next round begins. This continues until one player either has 10 power or a dragon bonded team has 15. As soon as that happens, the game is over and they win. That's basically everything you need to know to play Lords of Vaala. What's really great about this game is the rules are not complicated at all. It does not take much to understand the mechanics of how everything functions. But the amount of planning and strategy and bluffing that go into every planning phase make it such a dynamic experience each time. I'm a huge fan of any asymmetric gameplay and of character customizations, so the fact that Lords of Vaala has both is a real big thing for me. It's a deeply strategic, but just exceptionally fun game. It doesn't feel fiddly or overly cluttered, it's just pure, streamlined strategy. Plus, look at how cool these minis are! As of this video going up, it is currently live on Kickstarter, so please go check that out. Link is in the description below. And if you liked this video, please click that like button. It really does help us a lot. And let us know down in the comments what you think of the game. Don't forget to subscribe to BoLS for all things tabletop gaming. Again, I am Matt with BoLS. Thank you so very much for watching. Bye.